was entertaining.
And embarrassing for Biggie.
The second ball is for the Intercontinental Championship. Introducing the challenger from Cleveland, Ohio, weighing 221 pounds, The Miz.
The Miz with the opportunity tonight here at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view to win his third Intercontinental Championship. Miz saying a little bit earlier this week that becoming an Intercontinental Champion means so much because it was held by some of the all-time greats. More than a dozen WWE Hall of Famers have held the Intercontinental title.
Being accompanied to the ring by Paul Heyman from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Weighing 228 pounds, he is the current Intercontinental Champion,
Curtis Axel winning the Intercontinental Championship at Payback last month in a triple threat match against that man, The Miz, and Wade Barrett. More on that story in a moment. But do you want to relive all the action from WWE's weekly television shows and catch up on everything you missed? Hulu Plus is the only place to get next day unlimited instant streaming access to all of WWE's weekly programs. Visit WWE on Hulu.com for a free trial. Don, you remember the pay-per-view last month, the Payback event. Miz at the figure 4 on Wade Barrett. We thought Wade was going to tap out, but Curtis Axel would actually steal the victory.
Of course I remembered. I was here doing commentary.
So
Wade thought he had it won. He had Paul Heyman directing traffic. He had sent Curtis Axel in there on Wade Barrett. All of a sudden, Curtis Axel becomes the Intercontinental Champion.
It's funny, you said you were doing commentary and you remembered it. However, it was actually Miz who was closing in on the victory, not Wade Barrett, because he was in the figure 4. Nonetheless, here we go for the Intercontinental title. Miz versus Curtis Axel, one-on-one here tonight. Miz felt like coming into tonight, King, that he would be the underdog because of the Paul Heyman presence at ringside. Not only as Miz goes into the cover quickly in a kick out.
Yeah, one of the things that can interfere with is the glare off the back of Heyman's head.
Not only Paul Heyman shouting instructions to Axel, but also the fact that Heyman is beloved here in Philadelphia.
That hairstyle is actually called a skullet that Paul Heyman has. A skullet. I like it. Well, not really, but I like the name skullet.
Again, Miz must get the champion to submit or pin Curtis Axel to win the championship tonight, unlike the triple threat rules of last month.
Well, the one thing you could say about Paul Heyman and this young Curtis Axel, Heyman has instilled a sense of confidence in this young man that, without a doubt, it was lacking before Heyman came along.
You understand me? Huh?
Curtis Axel realizes he's the chosen one. Paul Heyman could have chosen a lot of young superstars. He chose Curtis Axel because he sees him.
Axel face first. Let's not forget, though, Curtis Axel may be lacking some confidence after what's happened over the past 7 days. Axel's on a losing streak. He lost twice last week to Chris Jericho. Once via pinfall, once via counter. Miz taking it to Axel.
Chris Jericho, that was actually the first pinfall against Curtis Axel since he got into the tutelage of Paul Heyman.
Miz has got to get the champion back into the ring now, as he looks to feed off the 18,000 plus in Philadelphia tonight.
The genius of Paul Heyman. Well, it's not going to be. I think Miz told the referee that Paul Heyman hit him.
And the referee believed him.
Heyman's never knocked anybody down with a punch.
Heyman's being sent to a much-needed early shower.
Well, you're right about that.
Miz pulled one over on Paul Heyman, and now things are even, Miz and Axel.
You're right, Mongo. Things are even now. Well, it's not easy to outsmart Paul Heyman, especially The Miz just did it, especially in Philadelphia.
And now you got to wonder where Axel's head is going to be. And the We Want Heyman chants begin. Of course, we mentioned he's a beloved figure here in Philly. As
welcome to
Miz
Philly.
looks for the title. Of course, Heyman started the ECW promotion here back in the, remember, a couple of decades ago.
You sure beloved is the right word with Paul Heyman?
Well, they were just chanting We Want Heyman from 18,000.
And him and his skillet are gone.
And now Curtis Axel. Oh! Can he survive without Heyman at ringside? Into the cover of Miz, hooks the leg. Isn't enough in a kick out.
I'd say it's more like 1800 than 18,000.
Yeah, I would say. You guys see it how you want.
There's two versions, the truth and your version, Michael.
I think it's a little easier to hear the crowd out here at ringside. What they're saying.
Well, you know, this has got to put a crimp in the armor and the confidence of young Curtis Axel here.
Yeah, Axel now looking to take out his frustration on the Miz.
That triple threat match, Paul Heyman was the difference maker in Curtis Axel becoming champion.
Nice drop kick by Axel.
You got to wonder what effect it's going to have on Curtis Axel now with Heyman not out here, but referee probably did a good thing. You know, walruses can't be out of the water too long.
Miz was talking a little bit earlier on about some of his memories of Philadelphia. In fact, when he defended his WWE Championship here back in 2010 in a table, ladders, and chairs match against Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah, don't even remind me of that.
Axel again, drop kick to the face, hook to the leg on the Miz. Is it enough? And a kick out by Miz at 2.
You know, the absence of Paul Heyman may fire up Curtis Axel. I mean, he may be just become incensed over this. I think it might, but look, a champion racehorse doesn't need a jockey unless it gets in trouble. Curtis Axel is a great superstar. But what happens when he needs Paul Heyman if he does?
In the jeans, of course, his father, the late, great, legendary Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, the WWE Hall of Famer. Grandfather, Larry the Axe Hennig. Miz back to his feet, trying to create separation for the Intercontinental Championship. Miz block. Again, Miz with the block.
Hard to block those, especially when you can't see him. Miz landing on his feet here.
Nobody home as Miz sidesteps the champ.
And I'm not sure Miz didn't have this whole thing planned with Paul Heyman. What a great strategy. I wouldn't doubt that either. I mean, it looked like a scenario that played out just the way Miz had planned it.
This is astute. As Miz now bounces off the ropes, high running knee to Axel, big boot to the face, and now Miz is beginning to build a little bit of momentum. I told you, Miz knew he should be an underdog coming into this thing in Philly, and he's playing offense.
You can hit that. Miz, that mean streak is coming out now.
Miz axe handle the skull. Is it enough to put Axel away? Kick out at 2 by the champion. Miz is main evented WrestleMania, former WWE champ.
Here
For the
we go.
skull-crushing finale. Axel fighting his way out of it. Oh, look at this. Here we go. He's going for the perfect plex, and Miz countered. And now Miz going for the figure 4, and a counter by Axel right into the steel post.
These guys have scouted each other well. Perfect plex.
Now we got it. Isn't it up? Off the perfect plex. Miz at 2.5.
Curtis Axel, father, Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, one of the greatest of all time. Curtis Axel won that championship on Father's Day. Yeah, you didn't see many superstars kick out of that superplex.
That was
the perfect plex.
At payback in Chicago last month. So some frustration building on Axel after, to King's point, Miz kicked out of the perfect plex.
This is the difference. Nobody needs a coach while things are going well. It's when you get frustrated.
Oh, look at this. Oh, Miz! Miz did that to Ryback a couple of weeks ago to much effect, and now Miz softening up the leg, looking at the figure 4 leg lock.
He's hyperextended the knee of Curtis Axel.
Figure
This could be it.
Figure
He's right in the middle of the ring. He's got him.
Is Axel going to tap out to the figure 4 leg lock? Is Miz going to win the Intercontinental Championship right here? Look at Axel. Miz is closing in. He's got Axel right where he wants him.
Miz has won this Intercontinental Championship before with the figure 4 leg lock. He may be about to win it again.
Look at the pressure. Look at the pressure.
Now he's back in WrestleMania. Can he do it here tonight at Money in the Bank?
This made way back to tap out.
Trying to turn it.
And he does.
And then reverses the pressure.
Axel countering, reversing the pressure. Now it's Miz, who may tap out.
Miz can tap out a reversal in his own hold.
Great counter by Axel. What's Miz going to do here? He's got to make it to the ropes. Now Miz trying to turn. Axel already got him. Now it's Axel in trouble.
Back and forth.
But
Miz
Axel
once again.
Going to force a break though. Miz has to break at 5.
A lot of damage done to both sets of legs in this match.
Now look at Axel.
And Axel's smart. Creates some distance, gets away from him. Take all that 10 count you can, Curtis.
In all the years of me being in the ring, that may be the hold that I hated to have applied more than anyone. That figure 4 leg lock.
And now it's Axel literally hopping around on one leg. Miz going right back to
go
work
again.
on the legs. Oh, what a kick right to the side of the jaw. Right to the jaw. And now that rope bounced off the chin of Miz. And Curtis Axel. Axel playing Miz. Is it enough? Hug to the leg. Axel retains the title.
Without Paul Heyman.
The winner of this match, and still Intercontinental Champion, Curtis Axel.
Great point, John. Without Paul Heyman, who was kicked out of the arena earlier on in the matchup, Curtis Axel able to retain the Intercontinental Championship.
Curtis Axel made some great counters. Right there at the end, used everything to his advantage. Walks out the Intercontinental Champion.
But the biggest counter of the matchup, the first time anyone has ever turned the figure 4 leg lock to their advantage.
Check this out. Early in the match, look at this. Miz claps his hand, sounds like a slap or a punch, and then falls flat on his back and points an accusing finger at the Walrus. And denied. He did, but it didn't work. He was still ejected.
And watch Axel.
Look at this. This is just ring
now watch the rope. Right off the chin of the Miz.
Third generation sports entertainer.
Watch the
knowing what
Miz
he's
hit.
doing.
Oh, man. Miz's hit driven into the mat. He was on Dream Street after that.
Curtis Axel's reign as Intercontinental Champion continues tonight at Money in the Bank.